Hi there, my name is Mike Carter, and in this video I would like to share my experiences and all of the things I've learned in the PME 811 Innovation in Teaching and Learning course at Queen's University for my final portfolio assignment. First, I rediscovered a passion of mine in this course, which is keeping marginalized students in mind when designing classroom lessons. This passion was reinvigorated in me through our first project or icebreaker assignment called My Life as History Text Introductions. This assignment allowed me to reflect on my life and some of the major influences in it. One of my most important influences in my life is my sister Julie. Julie had a rare physical disability that the doctors could only call the child version of ALS. Her upper body started shutting down at age 5. Growing up with a sister with a disability taught me how important it is to be inclusive as a teacher, as she was very gifted in her school subjects despite having a difficulty typing and using a pen or pencil. Our school, Maple Ridge Public School, was very inclusive to Julie and provided her an EA and to assist her and also help educate other students about her disability. Not all teachers were inclusive, however, as her gym teacher in grade 5 gave her an F in basketball because she was physically unable to dribble a basketball. This taught me as an educator, modifications must be made to measure learning. If a skill cannot be measured due to an injury or disability, then you can't assess learning. I believe as an educator, it is our duty to design courses that allow fair access to education. On the suggestion of my professor in this course, I started to research what universal design for learning was and how it can apply to my own professional setting. I use this as the center for all of my blogs in this course, and I'm starting to see how assistive technologies and innovative practices can help students with a variety of learning challenges in my classroom. Take this video for example. I have included closed captions in case students have auditory challenges or maybe just don't want the audio turned on while watching this video. Closed captions allow anyone to follow along with what I am saying in this video without having to rely on audio. You can also click on the timestamps I created in the description to skip forward or go back to a certain section of time in this video. Lastly, I created a Word document and a PowerPoint presentation of this video. Some students might prefer to read what I have to say over a video, and some may want pictures and graphics along with the text without having to watch a video, hence the need for PowerPoint. If you want to learn more about UDL from my self-inquiry, check out my blog page at www.mikesoffice.ca/blog. Here I'll show you what universal design for learning is and how I apply it in the classroom as well. Even though I have taught in a formal setting for the past 4 years, this course was the first time I sat down and tried to define what teaching and learning is in the second module of this course. I have discovered that the act of teaching does not guarantee that the act of learning has happened, and learning can happen in the absence of teaching. This is why I prefer to think of myself as less of a teacher and more as a facilitator of learning. To be a true facilitator requires one to apply innovative teaching practices that can challenge the status quo and help marginalized students. Therefore, everything I do around designing and facilitating learning events comes from the focus on the learner. Module 4 taught me all about the importance of self-reflection and student-centered approaches. Reading through Illich's Why We Must Abolish Schooling article reminded me of Maslow's hierarchy. Illich states that the poor need funds to enable them to learn, not to get certified for the treatment of their alleged disproportionate deficiencies. In a similar fashion, Maslow's hierarchy would suggest that we need to take care of the individual before he or she is able to learn. After reading Illich's work, I began to question my own teaching methods and whether they had truly been effective. Perhaps, just like the public schools Illich examined, my own teaching methods had not led to learning effectively or in the ways I had intended. This led me to perform a self-audit of my work this semester. I created a rubric for myself and for my colleagues to help me assess some of my teaching strategies based on inclusion, formative assessment, and student engagement. I rated myself 1 out of 4 in each area and recorded the results in an ongoing tracking sheet. I also improved my methods based on some of the peer feedback I had received. Because feedback is so important, I had students submit feedback by writing down something that was working, something that I could improve, and something that I could add to this course. and it looked like something like this. This course taught me to inspect the important aspects of my teaching and how to be creative and innovative when considering student engagement, inclusion, and formative assessment. For inclusion, I have explored universal design for learning and how it can be used to accommodate and include all students. I have applied some of these strategies in my classroom, such as using assistive technology when presenting tutorial videos or presentations. For student engagement, I now try to be mindful of my students' engagement during class. I try to be aware of how they respond to a learning task. If the task is too easy, they will look bored and disengaged. If they look stressed or anxious, then the task might be too difficult. The perfect combination is a learning activity that offers students a challenge that they can master without being impossible to complete. By being mindful of this, I can know where to intervene, whether to scaffold if the challenge is too difficult, or to throw in a challenge if the task is too easy. Lastly, for formative assessment, I now try to give ongoing and quick feedback both during and after learning activities. This course has inspired me to think critically about the professional setting that I work in and some of my own teaching methods. I hope to apply universal design to all of my courses going forward in an attempt to reach every student, while reflecting on my progress to keep improving my methods along the way. Speaking about being mindful of my students, I am mindful that this video is coming to the 7-minute mark, and that's usually where students stop paying attention, so I'll end things here. If you made it this far, thanks for watching.